And we're live.
Indeed.
All right.
Hello.
We have a very interesting subject today that I am just so excited to get into. Today's topic is drumroll. Is Ging Gon's mum and dad? Basically, did Ging use the pregnancy stone from Greed Island to give birth to Gon? That's our topic.
Yeah, pregnancy stone theory. It's a good old one, but
I
yeah,
It's a great theory and one that I completely believe in. I think it's just as likely that this happened as like the story that Mito told Gon about his mum. Like maybe she died in like an accident. It's totally possible, but I think this is equally as likely.
There's also a thing where Gon, when he and Killua were listening to the cassette tape left by Jing right before, was it Yorknew? Like when they were before they left for Yorknew on Whale Island. Um,
yeah,
Gon stopped the cassette tape when right before Jing was about to talk about his mother. So it could be, oh, your mother was a great woman. She sadly died in an accident, but it could also be Gon. I am your mother and your father. I am one and the same.
I'm expecting he would have like gone into some kind of Nen explanation because I think he would have been like, okay, so you figured out how to use Nen because you needed to use Nen to open this, and then he would have
Right.
explained it from there.
It could also. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was done.
Oh, I was just gonna say that since this took place before Greed Island, this took place before York knew. Gon and Killua would never have known what the pregnancy stone Greed Island card was. They would only be able to actually understand while they're in the game or after. So Jing talking about, let's say, the pregnancy stone would not make any, logical sense. Gon
He
has
could
never experienced
explain it. He could
right,
take the time
but
to explain it.
right, but it would be a bit harder to visualize, I would imagine. While in the actual Great Island game, it's there can be a visual example for
I think
so
it's totally possible that he could have just said like, "I'm your mother and father, and if you want to understand, go play Greed Island" or something like that.
right. That would have been a really weird turn right before York News started. Let's be honest here. If that was to happen,
indeed.
like right, Gon and
That's a good
Killer are
point.
just Gon and Killer are just on Whale Island with Mito right before they head over and see Kurapika and Leorio and the auction. They open up the secret box that Jane left behind for Gon once he learned Nen. Hey son, I haven't seen you in 12 or 13 years. By the way, did you know their mom is actually not dead, but it's me. I'm your mother and your father.
Oh man, yeah,
I mean, as like a viewer, you would hear that and you would be like, "What?"
yeah,
And you would like be so excited to get to Greed Island because that question would just be like replaying in the back of your head. Like, what does he mean by this? What the
I feel
hell?
I feel like there would be
Can,
two different viewpoints. One would be your like the curiosity that you're displaying,
hmm.
like how does this work? Like how is it possible? And the other one's just gonna be like, what the hell are you on about? Like that.
I mean,
This disturbs me.
I think the logical uh train of thought would be like, okay, well, it's got to be something to do with Nen. If he's like saying he's the mum and the dad, or like some people would be like, is Jing a hermaphrodite? I'm not sure if that's like an offensive term or like a scientific term, but it's like
Please don't
people
cancel
born
us if
with
that
both
is.
male and female genitalia. From what I understand, I've only like come across the term a couple times, but yeah, I
Isn't that quite rare though?
yeah, it is very rare.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I feel like people would like theorize what he could mean by that, and there would be like a lot of interesting discussion around that if like the story was structured that way. So that'd be like an interesting alternate universe to explore.
Indeed.
By the way, the when we were talking about Mito not knowing about Gon's mom. They didn't say anything about her mom disappearing. She says here in it's chapter 65.
Oh.
She just says that she doesn't know anything about Gon's mom. And some interesting facts also. Apparently, Mito's parents, so that would probably be Jin's
auntie or uncle.
Yeah, exactly. They died in an accident. That's what Abe said. And Jing's father was lost at sea. So.
Oh, I actually did not know that. I haven't read the manga in a while, so I apologize for not knowing. My norminess is really showing.
It's okay. Some details like that kind of slip by.
But yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, these are little interesting things about the freaks, I guess.
Hey, I think he called them freaks for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, the freaks. I was about to make a joke out of that.
And the thing about like
pregnancy stone card,
Jin's father lost at sea. I mean, what do you guys think? Is Don Freaks like Jin's father?
I don't know a lot about. I don't know a lot about Dawn Freaks, so I can't really.
Yeah, we don't know much
prediction.
about him other than that he's probably doing the other half of the. What's the?
I forgot what the manual.
The name of the guide, but
hasn't he been to the Dark Continent and survived?
Yeah, he wrote the entire like first half of the guide thing.
Oh, okay. So that means we know 4 characters who have returned from the Dark Continent and they're still, mentally and physically well.
Yeah. Well,
wait, did Beyond?
Yeah.
Did Beyond go?
Wait, has Beyond been to the Dark Continent?
Yeah. He has.
Really?
Yeah, I think he has. From what I remember reading.
Oh, yes, he has. Beyond had secretly journeyed to the Dark Continent in the past and failed to explore it completely. He did survive, however, and right now he's planning another expedition to the place. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes 5 characters that we know of.
Yeah.
I wonder if any of Beyond's team that has assembled has... I think they would have mentioned it. I was going to say I wonder if any of his team has been... went to the Dark Continent with him. Like founding members or something. But yeah, I feel like it would have been mentioned by now.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the quiet ones, like the robot guy and like the weird... I think she's like a doll girl.
Oh yeah, those ones.
The really strong characters that haven't really spoken up at all. Maybe they went with Beyond. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was interesting about Don Freaks to me, like if he happens to be like Gon's father, not Gon's father, Jin's father. Because he's so old, we know for a fact that he had to take like Nitrorize or something like that to keep living.
It makes sense.
But also, yeah, if he isn't Jin's father, then there's like a bunch of generations that we missed in between. But it could also just be that, I mean, Don Freaks used pregnancy stone with Ging.
But wait, no, I don't think
Ging.
Ging was one of the game masters of Greed Island, and so he's one of the creators.
Yeah.
When he was an adult.
Yeah.
There's no way that Dong could have used a pregnancy stone.
Yeah,
with Ging.
I mean,
he would have to use some other form of method, which we have no idea about.
But I mean, if Ging was able to make pregnancy stone kind of like ability, like within the game, like because Grid Island is a real game, right? It's
Right.
like it's in the real world, and so the Nen abilities are real as well. They just found a way to contain all of the Nen abilities into cards, and that also functions as the kind of restriction system to feed the Nen into the game or whatever, however it works.
Hmm.
Uh,
Would
but
that make
all of
Gon
those
conjuration?
abilities are like actual Nen abilities, so it's not too much to think, in my opinion, that it's possible that there could be a pregnancy stone ability. But yeah, it's
Right, but there's no way we would be able to guess who and
no,
where and when.
no, absolutely,
There's so many different holes in that. Though I would not be surprised if someone has thought of this. Like, I mean,
yeah,
it's just who, where, and when and how they were able to do it in the first place without using a pregnancy stone Great Island card.
yeah, or it could be just a different version. But yeah, it's a fun thought.
I was thinking, like, now that you mention it, the pregnancy stone is an inability.
Hmm.
Does that make, if you know the pregnancy stone theory is true, does that make Gon like a conjured Nen beast or like a conjuration?
Oh,
Ooh, that's a tricky question.
Or does it just use the like, I don't know how to describe it, the materials already within Jing to
yeah.
create the child?
I would assume. I would assume it's the latter.
It'd
Aren't
be
there
the
certain
ovary and the birth canal would be the conjuration to like house Gon. If
Oh
it goes that
yeah,
far, maybe it uses some like,
you're
I
right.
don't know, like Nov's created space to like house the baby or something. I don't know how it
Yeah,
works,
yeah,
but
conjuration or
maybe
what else really? Like,
like it's interesting to imagine. Like, I don't know much about biology, so I don't know how much of like the ovary is part of like the physicality of a child
yeah,
as it forms.
yeah,
So yeah, interesting to think about.
it is.
It also, I also have a question regarding the pregnancy stones. If you guys know,
Mhm.
using the pregnancy stone, how would someone have to go the full 9 months of being pregnant, or would it just be like something like it's like already like a full grown fetus in your stomach or whatever, and then you could just pop it out? That sounded really wrong how I worded it. Like how, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Yeah, I
how
know what
long
you mean.
would someone have to carry the child for until it's birth?
um, I wonder. Do we have the description of the card?
Uh,
Yeah, I just looked it up.
oh,
So you
one step
hold it
ahead of
for a
me.
month and then you get pregnant. The pregnancy is based on the type, like the gender or like the sex of the baby is based on the type of stone that you choose to hold.
So
There's like a male or female stone.
oh,
Okay.
So there's that detail. I don't know where to post this link.
that's very interesting. Or
Just post it in useful articles.
or
Thank
But yeah,
what if the pregnancy stone is a dark continent artifact?
you.
I mean
It's an
maybe it's
S tier
inspired.
card.
Yeah,
It's definitely like I would say it's like a like all of the cards are conjurations of like just things that the game masters came up with.
yeah. Or like emission, I guess, or something like that, or like
I
Nen
I think it
beasts.
would have to be conjuration. I think.
Yeah, for the pregnancy stone, you mean, at least.
Yeah, I guess it would just depend on whatever. Like some of the monsters would use like Nen, I think, like the mobs.
Oh yeah, the mobs. Yeah. Yeah, those are probably, yeah, conjuration, I guess.
Dude, just thinking about like all that GI stuff.
Yeah,
That's a team of very 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 capable Nen users. They basically created like a whole
yeah,
like a continent of stuff just made out of Nen, like
with Nen.
new monsters, like NPCs, all that kind of stuff. That's like a lot of Nen planning. That's takes someone very capable. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a
like,
team, but like
yeah.
I'm I wonder if they're going to be utilized in the story and like what they would be utilized for. Can they does after they've created like their abilities, do they just last forever or would they need somebody to be maintaining those abilities? Like I
Um,
wonder how that all works.
you mean for like the card abilities?
Yeah, keeping the card abilities active.
Yeah, I
Maybe
wonder
it's
about
got
that.
something to do with the Nen coding that we've been hinted at.
Yeah,
Like
because there's,
once you infuse
yeah,
coding with Nen or something, like it needs to be destroyed to go away, but like once you've infused it, it stays like forever until it like performs its function or it keeps performing its function or something.
yeah,
Right.
like something like Breath of Archangel, like it can heal anyone, like if they're not dead, I guess. Is such a powerful Nen ability, and that's why
Mm.
also that's why the reason it's so rare also. But
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure that's like a restriction to why
yeah,
they've been able to make that kind of ability.
yeah,
They use like very meta restrictions, like okay, this ability can only exist inside a game, and like
yes.
to get the ability, you
Well,
need to like go through hell.
yeah, you can take the cards outside, but you have to pass. You have to
Beat
beat
Greed
the
Island.
game. Yeah, and so that's the
Still,
restriction
it
for
means you can
the.
use it inside the game.
Sorry.
It's still like it's still super powerful because you
Yeah,
just have to be inside the game
yeah.
and you can get the full benefits of the
It
ability.
is.
So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the restrictions that make it that there's only like what, 5 of them or something like that.
Um,
I don't remember
I,
exactly. I think it was 5 or 10 or something like that.
here,
wait,
I'll check again.
Yeah,
the amount of restrictions.
like
Uh,
what's that?
it's a S10 card.
So the
So
transform is
Oh,
you can only transform 10
the
times.
amount of cards that can exist.
I don't know if it's. I think
it's the
this can only be
transform.
like. It can transform up to 10 times.
10 times. Okay,
I-
so yeah,
I'm pretty
you
sure
can
the
have
transformation is just turning into a card, right?
you can have
Yep.
10 Breath of Archangels.
Yeah.
Like there's 10 of those cards in existence, and wait, how did it go again? I kind of forgot that.
If the card limit is full, then the object or whatever won't transform into that card until the somebody either uses the card or whatever. The card gets destroyed. I don't know, but
Yeah, that's the limit of the amount of cards of that card
yeah,
there is, and you have to go through whatever kind of mission to get that card because it's a restricted slot card, right?
yeah,
So
and
those,
it's restricted to being used inside the game, except for when that one person wins the game or whatever.
yeah, Yeah.
But yeah, it has to stay inside the game.
It has, yeah.
What else?
And yeah, so yeah, the whole
Yeah, it'd just be
restrictions.
like meta restrictions that are
Yeah,
created by a game environment. That's super interesting.
it is.
I think I think Jing is somebody who explores a lot of very meta type restrictions with his abilities. Like I
Yeah,
think evidence of that is obviously Greed Island, and then we talked about it with Kite's ability previously. Like I'm pretty sure Jing would have like mentored Kite to make his ability as annoying as possible as a restriction.
yeah,
Like yeah, that's really funny to me.
yeah,
But yeah, meta restrictions. Interesting.
yeah.
It's
Like you
like
said,
it's like
meta.
Jing is a character that is made to challenge uh the rules of Tagashi's universe. Like he made this character to like challenge himself. Like what would Jing do to break my this storyline or like break this rule of Nen or something?
Yeah, probably. I mean, at least, yeah, he's definitely being able to challenge himself with that. I guess. I think it shows because the result is super interesting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that question it must have brought about the creation of Greed Island. Like, okay, what are like the
Hmm.
I guess kind of similar to our limits of Nen question, but he went like ultra genius mode and was like, okay, let's actually make it interesting
Yeah,
instead of just like black hole for every category.
yeah.
Like,
Or maybe,
how would you, yeah, make a game out of an Nen? That's
maybe it began with like he wanted to just make a card game or something, and then it evolved from there with how would a system work with Nen and stuff like that.
yeah. I think that's super possible, actually. His interest in like games
Yeah,
and stuff, like board game, tabletop kind of style stuff,
yeah,
is very, very obvious. Like, I'm
it
pretty
is.
sure he wrote like some one shot for I
Oh
think it was a
yeah,
monster collector style like card game thing,
I
and then somebody
remember.
else
Yeah,
illustrated it.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was some time ago. Like it was just a one shot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, never lifted off. But
Akuten
yeah,
Wars. Akuten Wars.
Akuten.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it. It had the artist was really really good as well.
Mm.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Anything else on Pregnancy Stone? Greed Island? Anything that we can think of?
Yeah, I was thinking.
I don't have anything currently.
Yeah, I just think Greed Island is really interesting with like it's just really interesting to theorize about how Greed Island could work.
Mm.
Because yeah, you have all of the all of the restrictions are feeding the Nen power of the cards and stuff,
Mm.
or like um, they have created like each of the abilities. Like how did they even create some of these abilities is like a mystery, and
Mm.
but at least how they are powering them with restrictions, we have some sort of idea for that, but uh, yeah, they must have like some really special Nen users in that group that we've never heard about.
Mm. I feel like the twin sisters that power the entry and exit of the
Yeah,
game, or like I don't know what the word would be, administrate
Mhm.
I have a feeling that they have a lot to do with like the powering of the game, just like the way like they're visually designed. They're like, I
Yeah.
don't know, something's weird about them. Like they're, like human batteries and like this huge
Mm.
cell
Yeah.
that draws power from them or something. Like it's got like weird markings all over the walls. Like it's
It does. Yeah.
I don't know. It could be like the NEN programming stuff. It's just like
It could be.
visual based speculation, but it could be like situations like that. Like characters. They seem like the twins are like they seemed like wheelchair bound or something. Like they just kind of sit
Yeah.
in those chairs all day. So I don't know, maybe something like that. Like they choose to be like batteries or
Aren't they game masters too? Like,
yeah, they're a part of the team.
yeah.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
yeah. So yeah, they must be
Razor was a game
controlling
master.
something.
Razor's a game master technically,
Yeah.
but he could obviously just be like an NPC with admin permissions or something like that, possibly.
I think he said he powers the emission of the game. Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. Like, Great Island is all through Razor's aura, which means he has an insane amount of aura.
I mean, so yeah, you said he's in charge of the emittive type abilities. So what would that mean? Like, what sort of things are emitted in Greed Island? What are conjured? I guess. Or
I'll look it up right
what
now.
what type of? I guess are the books like conjured as well?
Oh, okay. So, he is in charge of the game's emissive systems, and such as ensures the smooth functioning of most spells. He also serves as the final boss of the quest to acquire Plot of Beach. So, most of the functionality of most of the spell cards are based off Razor, by the looks of it, according to the Hunterpedia.
The spell cards.
Yes, the spells.
Oh yeah, so that's like transportation and
Oh, okay. I apologize.
no. It makes sense. Like maybe like he has like these emissive abilities that make you able to transport yourself from place to place. And he's like somewhat powering them through other restrictions and stuff like that. It's super complicated to get an idea
maybe
of
like
how that works.
Yeah, I'm struggling to comprehend.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe like the cards themselves have some kind of like it could have like a NEN oh my gosh, I sound like a suburban white mum trying to explain like a complicated subject that they know nothing about. Like the cards could have like some kind of coding on them,
Yeah.
and then once they want to be used, like the coding like draws from his aura or something like that, and that's like the emission based portion of like how the cards work.
Yeah.
It relies on his emission to kind of draw the power to power the cards or something like that. I don't know.
Or yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be weird that he has to constantly feed aura into all of the cards being used. Spell cards, that is. I think it's probably has to be like the restriction stuff, and probably like he just has to be like alive because the restriction is set on himself or something like that. If you know what I mean. But yeah, it's hard to explain. But But yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. It kind of does my head in. I feel like gone right now when Knuckle was explaining his APR.
pretty much, yeah.
You just
I
have
mean,
the steam coming out of your ears.
it's still interesting. It's still an interesting subject, and someday I think I'm gonna try to figure out a way, an explanation that would make sense.
Yeah, it'd be really, really interesting to like theorize different ways that kind of system could work.
Yeah, yeah, because that's all we can really do. Just theorize. I don't think Togashi will ever. Well,
Truly
I hope
reveal
he
it.
will someday explain how
I
the
think
system works, but I doubt it.
I think he'll go into more of the Nen coding stuff. I feel like
I hope so.
that's
Yeah.
something he still is yet to explore. Like he introduced the hacker hunter, the guy that
Oh,
lives
yeah.
inside the digital space.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like on the back of his mind, like maybe he'll want to like pull it out somewhere. And I feel like if he does that, it'll give us a better idea of how Greed Island works. Like this is based on like the idea that Greed Island is powered on that Nen coding stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
What else did we have in mind? We had another topic, but I forget. It was
If I
something to do
remember
with Greed
correctly.
Island, right?
Wasn't it is Razor an NPC?
Oh yeah. Yes, Racer and NPC. Man, these prompts crack me up. Yeah, it would imply that his memories are like implanted. They're like artificially created to
They're
give him a
fabricated.
personality. Yeah, yeah. So what do you guys think of that? Like that could also imply that all of Jing's friends are like created by Ging
Yeah.
to be his friends, which is so incredibly
Just-
funny. Like
Just I.
it's such
That's
a
not how
loner.
you spell my name. My name is Dune, not Dune.
Yeah, the thing is like those characters feel like so genuine. Like I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is definitely a possibility, mind you. I mean,
Oh, it's such a funny possibility too. Like to
No-
think
knowing
Jing created
Jing-
all these people to be his friends.
Jane isn't very good with socializing with other people. I would say he's definitely not gone in the sense where he can just walk up to people and say, "Hey, how you doing? All right, you look great today." No, he does not do that. It's like, what? How will you benefit me? What are you doing here?
I noticed that he draws in people who are like on his level or like who admire him basically. So like with Beyond's crew, like all the members who are like warming up to him really fast because he's like so great at everything. He has that kind of effect, like this almost kind of like the specialist charisma thing that was described in the series. Like, specialists have like this charisma to draw people.
Yeah.
So, it could be that like they are all just like geniuses like him, and they naturally just came together and became friends because of that. But man, it makes me laugh to think like Jing was just like so lonely that he decided to like create
Bunch of NPCs.
Nen NPCs, yeah.
True gamer moment.
Yeah, it's really memey. Well, do you guys have anything to say about the Nen NPCs?
No, I
Razor
don't.
being an
I don't
NPC,
think.
or-
I don't have any ideas about that. Not really.
Well, we could segue into what Nen type we think Jing is. I brought that up, like
Good.
with the
Yeah, that's a good
specialist
one.
thing,
Yeah.
because it's conflicting, right? Like,
Yeah.
in some moments you think, oh, enhancer, in others, you're like, oh, definitely emitter. And then like with the whole
There's-
specialist drawing in people,
Yeah.
like he could be a specialist.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. So there's like a couple things like so if we try to look at his personality and try to make a guess from that, you would say emitter or manipulator also.
you think manipulator?
I think so. It's a possibility. Manipulators are very logical people always. Like you have Shalnard, you have Illumi. I mean, well, okay, logical in the Hunter x Hunter world is a bit hard to like to put as a personality type because almost everyone is like very logical. But
Yeah, I feel like Togashi's a logical person, and that kind of starts to bleed into the way he writes characters.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I remember I had made an analysis about it, but there were some other stuff as well. But like I forgot what the little Nen game that he was doing was. Was it like?
He was
Is it like
forming
emission?
shapes
Yeah,
and then moving them around.
yeah. And so I was wondering if that was like emission or transmutation or what sort of category that was, or if it's
it would
an-
fall
or if
into
it's
emission.
or if it's a combination
Uh,
of many. Yeah, I would think
could-
it's emission.
I've when I think about like controlling like the shape or like how your nen moves, I think manipulator. It just like makes sense logically to me.
It
But
does.
I've seen it like explained. I think in the series it's explained that transmuters are good at that stuff, like Zeno with his dragon. I brought this up on the podcast as well, and I still don't freaking know. But like, yeah, it just brings up like so many questions. Like, he's good at all these things.
Yeah,
To be fair, it was like a little game that he was playing. Like he was good at it, but like he's a good Nen user, so it
Exactly.
could just be like his, I don't know, natural talent. It might not point towards his Nen type.
yeah. It's
But
Yeah.
you bring up a good point about the manipulator thing. I brought up the wiki. Manipulators are argumentative and logical. So
yeah,
Ging is argumentative. I think he
According to
seeks that
Hisoka's,
out.
of course, according to Hisoka's
yeah.
personality
Hisoka, of
test.
course.
Which is
They-
not really
They
good.
advance at their own pace. Which I feel like is also very Ging.
Yeah, that's
They tend to want to
another
keep
one.
their families and loved ones safe. Okay, cross manipulator off the list, guys. We figured it out. He's not a manipulator. On the other hand, when it comes to pursuing their own goals, they do not listen to what others might have to say about it. Was this explained by Hisoka, or is this some dude like just writing random crap on the?
It's probably in the data book, so it's
Oh
not
yeah,
necessarily canon.
yeah, not necessarily canon. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe.
Potentially.
Yeah,
I want that actually. It'd be so cool to own that.
the
I'll
data
have
book.
To, have to look that up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Togashi had anything to do with it, so that's why it's hard to say if those things are canon or not.
Mm.
Yeah, Jing, it's really hard to say. I mean, I was thinking he was manipulator because he kind of fits within that personality range, and also that would make him close to emission. And if the Nen game thing is like emission, then and he's good at that. It could be something, but then you could also just make him, I don't know, an enhancer based on his personality, or an emitter and still be good at it. Uh, so,
Yeah.
but
Enhancers. Keep going.
but I think he definitely falls either from enhancer to specialist, and I don't think he fits transmuter or conjurer.
Yeah, he's like the
Personally,
whole left side from top to bottom. Like he could be
yeah,
any of those.
yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, damn. So Hisoka said specialists are independent and charismatic. I
Yeah,
think
Would we
Hisoka said that.
say? Should we
It
say
points to
Ging
volume
is
7.
charismatic? Is Ging even charismatic? He is certainly independent. Would you
He's
call
independent.
him? Would you say he's a silver tongue?
sorry,
I don't think he's necessarily a silver tongue.
no,
He I think the charismatic thing, I would say like in his own like special way, probably like how I mentioned, like he kind of draws in the people who look up to him. So that could be classified as some kind of charisma.
I think specialists are also like kind of weirdos. If you look like Binold and Neon and Crollo, they all are like weirdos.
Yeah, some screw loose up there.
Yeah, or well, Binold, do we even know his ability is specialist? Is it confirmed? But I don't know, but I think it was a specialist ability. I'm not sure though, but yeah, it's really like when you look at the Neon, for example, she isn't charismatic either.
Yeah,
Crollo, I
true.
think, is the only like character who is specialist and charismatic. Maybe Meruem could be specialist, but that's not like.
I think Meruem might have been a specialist with
Yeah,
his absorbing other people's nen kind of
yeah,
thing that was hinted at.
yeah. Some, yeah,
I think maybe there might be a translation thing with charismatic. Like it's a possibility. I don't know Japanese,
yeah,
so I wouldn't know.
yeah,
Charismatic might be like distinguished, like somebody that's so like unique that they stand out in like a positive or negative way.
yeah.
Maybe
That's a
something
good
like
word.
that.
Good word to use, I think. Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't cross off Ging from being a specialist completely, I think. I think there's a good possibility that it can be a specialist as well. So based
Yeah,
on
it depends on
yeah,
like what his strongest traits are, I think.
yeah,
What would you guys say his strongest traits are? I don't think
he's a loner.
argumentative and logical is up there.
Yeah,
Advancing at his own pace, I probably is up there.
yeah,
Like he doesn't show up to the zodiacs. He kind of just does what he wants.
yeah,
So pretty strong manipulator there. Emitters are impatient,
hot-headed.
detail oriented,
Um,
short-tempered and hot-headed. I think Hisoka said. I
Yeah.
think that was like the only bit of like canon description.
yeah, I think he could fit a meter as well.
Quick to react with volatility. I don't think he like thinking about how he fought the guys that ambushed him in Pariston.
Yeah,
he was pretty calm and like methodic.
But we also see
Methodical.
this with some like emitters. Like you see Razor, he's supposed to be an emitter.
Oh, true.
He's
Yeah,
like
true.
cold as fuck.
He got fired up when he was fighting Gon though.
Yeah, he did, and he was showing a little bit of that emission fire personality.
Yeah, and he was like a lot. I feel like in the flashback he was a lot more edgy.
Yeah.
And more like an emitter would be.
Exactly.
So maybe it's kind of like more of like a thing that he's matured.
Matured,
out of almost.
exactly.
So
that's it.
Enhancers are simple and determined.
Yeah, so that's the thing with the personality test. It's like, which personality or trait are you really basing it on? Are you basing it on the personality trait that they were born with, or that they're generally like, or are you basing it on what they're maturing to, or like, which one is it? You know, like. It's
They mentioned someone mentions that Nen types can change, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that just comes with like maturity and like
exactly,
personality changing. So I guess it would be more like what you are currently. So I don't know what that means for Razor, but in terms of like just judging what Ging is like. I feel like if we judge what he is right now, it's probably the way to go. Enhancers are simple and determined. I wouldn't call him simple. He seems very determined though. Like you got to be really determined to want to freaking go explore Death Island. Most of them never lie. Oh, this is omnibus stuff, so it's kind of not really that canon. Simple and determined is the only canon explanation that we have for enhancers.
Yeah, simple and determined.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. I think manipulator kind of fits him the most at the moment, based on like the canon explanation that we have.
Yeah.
Although argumentative and logical, I guess he's kind of argumentative. When people were like in the crowds telling him off for being a bad dad, he was telling them all to shut up, and he was getting fired up about that. Which is also kind of emitter, but you know, it's hard to say.
It's really hard to say. I don't think we really have like manipulators. We have like Moro and Shoot. No, he's not a manipulator, right?
Shoot. I think he might be a manipulator. I don't know,
but
if the hands are conjured or whatever, but I think
maybe.
I think he's a manipulator,
or maybe
he is indeed a manipulator.
Sorry.
Shoot is a manipulator. He specializes in manipulating 3 hands that he uses as controllable projectiles or as distractions to land a blow and activate Hotel Rafflesia. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yes, Shoot is a manipulator, to say the least.
But Hotel Rafflesia is like conjuration almost, or what? Is he manipulating?
It's manipulation and conjuration. All of his abilities are manipulation, conjuration, but he's primarily a manipulator.
Yeah, that's weird.
Just so you guys know, the manipulation type was sourced from the data book. So it may not be canon that is manipulator.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up on the Hunterpedia, on the Hunter fandom.
Yeah,
I am too. If you hover over his Nen type, it says it's sourced from the data book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's data book is like it can be true or it can be just made up stuff.
I'd love for Tagashi to address that. To
Yeah, I
see if
love
that's
it
all
too.
canon or whatever. I feel like he'd probably just say like, yeah, whatever, it's canon. Like he'd probably just brush it off. But
Quite possibly. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's for Jin's Nen type.
what's the final verdict? Let's all give like a final verdict, like a prediction.
I still
Alright,
think
then.
he's a manipulator. It's well, with what all the evidence we have, I think it's the most likely. I mean, emitter as well, but I think he's still a manipulator.
Fair point.
When I think of emitters, Kanzai, the tiger zodiac, comes to mind.
Yeah.
Like, he just seems like super manipulator. Like the most emitter. I said manipulator, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most extreme like version of an emitter that you could imagine. I'm stuck between manipulator and specialist.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Specialist also.
I'm
makes
just gonna say
sense.
manipulator. I feel like it's annoying to have so many specialists, like cool characters as specialists, so I'm just gonna say manipulator to be part of the culture.
If you do not know
What do you think?
if you do not know a character's Nen type, they're a specialist automatically. That is how so many people view it. Wait, we don't know your ability. You're a specialist.
And people always don't read that segment where Ging fights those guys. They
Oh my
don't
God, yeah.
read like that section properly, and they just assume that he's using a specialist ability to copy the punches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you read it, you can see that he says he's just talented and he can like figure it out with basic Nen principles. Like he's just cool, okay?
Exactly.
He's just too much of a badass for you guys to
Yeah.
truly comprehend.
He's even too much of a badass for the readers.
All right, Kurapika, what's your verdict? You do you think specialist? Is that what you were implying?
I personally believe that Ging, his Nen type is either manipulator or emitter. Personally.
You got to choose one, buddy.
Oh wow!
Narrow it down.
Thank you.
Flip a coin if you need to.
I'll do it Phantom Troop style. All right. Heads will be manipulator. Tails will be emitter.
Pause, champ.
All right.
All right, I got heads. He's a manipulator apparently.
Yeah.
Based
That's
on
the
this
T.
nickel that I had right beside me, Jane is a manipulator.
All right. And with that, I think we're going to end the episode there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell. Leave your comments on the topics that we discussed today. I think we covered a lot. Let us know what Nen type you think Ging is. Let us know if you think he's Gon's dad and mum at the same time. All that good stuff. We want to hear it all. We're going to read it all. Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.